Today's video has actually been shot already because I recorded this originally at CES, but the audio wasn't really that great because my voice wasn't that good. I've been sick throughout all of CES, so I just kind of decided the best thing was to just re-record everything here in the studio, so it would just be a little bit clearer. But today's video, we're going to be talking about OpenRock's new flagship open-ear style earbud, which is the OpenRock X, and we're also going to talk about their limited edition Forbidden City model, and this is the one that I've actually had for quite a while. But while at CES and checking out their booth, we saw the S and the Pro models, which have been their previous models that have been very successful. I've said it in the other video. The Pro model is my wife's personal favorite. She uses this pretty much every day, but the X model is their new flagship. So they're throwing everything that they can possible into these. Now, getting to the price tag of the OpenRock X, if you are just looking at the base model, again, the only thing base about it is the fact that you're not getting all of these other accessories and packaging enhancements that you're getting with the Forbidden City model, but the regular ones come in at $169. They are available in 3 different colors. They come in black, white, and orange. The orange kind of has like this flame look to it. It's not just simply orange, where the Forbidden City model is red and it has a 3D embossed dragon on the earbuds themselves. So obviously it has a unique look. It comes in a gift bag. It also comes in this really elaborate box that opens up to kind of show you this temple where the earbuds are sitting on the top. Again, very unique. And it also has a drawer that you pull out. And inside this drawer, it comes with an extra little fabric case that can hold the earbuds. It comes with what they call a Pichu charm, and Pichu is the money dragon. It actually stands for wealth. So it's kind of cool that it comes with this. You can put it on a keychain. The earbuds also come with a keychain loop that you can put on the case itself. And the overall design and the build quality of these, this is where, you know, if you get the Forbidden City or if you get the base model, all of this information from here on out is exactly the same. The earbuds do have 14.2 millimeter drivers. They move 45 degrees to the left and to the right, but they also move 50 degrees up and down. And I've said this in previous videos, because open ear is becoming more popular, it is definitely important that you get the right placement of where the speaker is above your ear. So the fact that they move in and out and up and down is a huge thing here, because you're going to be able to get them to sit exactly where you need them to be. Now, they are silicone along the top, which is what goes around the part of your ear. They are very comfortable, easily a pair that you can wear all day without having to take these out. I do like the fact that they're using physical buttons, and it is also a huge plus that they give you control over everything. So it's not one of those where you don't get volume control. You can use their app, which I do highly recommend because mine had an update right out of the box. It does give you some EQ options, although I think personally the way that it's tuned out of the box is perfect. I didn't really see the improvement with switching with all the other EQ settings. It kind of elevated vocals here or just tamed down the bass on another one. So I personally just like the rock one that it had out of the box. There is also spatial sound, which I will say sounds fantastic when it comes to movies and TV shows. Again, this is a feature I just do not like with music. I think it ruins music altogether. It pushed vocalists a little too far back. And again, I know they're trying to create this sense of space and this more open sound. It just doesn't really work well with music. And there's also a sound balance feature where, you know, if you're hearing more out of your left ear than you are your right, you can kind of, you know, adjust it one way or the other to kind of, again, balance it out a little bit better. There is a Find My Earbuds feature, so it will kind of play a tone if you've mislocated them somewhere in the room or in the house. This helps you find them. And there's also the ability to change some of your controls. And really, it's just the long press function, which is what controls your volume. So if you want that to do something else other than control your volume, you would go in the app to switch some of this around. Now, as far as some of the other tech, it does use Bluetooth 5.3, so it does have multi-point connection, and it also comes in rated at IPX5. So again, this is a current theme that I've seen with all of these open ear audio. They're not really very well protected against, if you're going to drop them in water, but this pair will be fine if you sweat heavily or if you're outdoors and it starts to rain or they get splashed on. Just again, make sure you don't submerge them into water. And then as far as what all you get inside the box, now this goes back to just the base version because all of the other things that I mentioned earlier were just added things for the Forbidden City model. But inside the box, you do get a clip that you would put on the case so that you can clip this onto your bag or your keychain. It does come with a USB-C cable, which you are going to need to charge these. But speaking of the charging, on a single charge, you can get 12 hours of battery life on the earbuds themselves. And with the charging case, you can get 48 hours total. And if you do happen to pick them up and they are dead, it does support fast charging, although not the best that I've seen. But on a 5-minute charge, you can get an hour's worth of use. Now, I do want to point out that the case on these is very well built. You can tell it has an aluminum feel to it, so it's kind of cold to the touch. It's one of those that you kind of push in to release where the earbuds sit, and it's not one of these, huge flat cases where both earbuds are sitting side by side, but it is still pretty big. But once you open them up, you can see that one earbud is sitting on top and the other one is sitting on the bottom. So they're finding ways to try to minimize, at least how much space these are taking up when it comes to, how wide the cases are. But the cases on these are still going to be pretty big. Now, as far as using these for phone calls, they do have 4 beamforming mics that they're using total. It is using AI to kind of cancel out some of the noise around you. And that way it doesn't interfere when you're taking a call. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. So here is the mic test using the OpenRock X. It's very, very bright outside, so I can't even see the screen. So I'm hoping that it's recording everything. But I am recording outside on a windy day. I can hear traffic. And this is just really to give you an idea of what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public. So now let's talk about the sound. Now, like I said earlier, these are using 14.2 millimeter drivers, and for the most part, these are extremely strong. In fact, you have to go into the app if you actually want to set like a volume limit. These do get pretty loud, but the huge plus in the way that these are positioned is it doesn't really leak a whole lot of sound. Now, I will say if you're listening at about 70% volume or more, it is definitely going to leak sound at those levels, but anywhere sitting around 50 to 60%, I think it's really good at being able to get a decent amount of volume and not have the people around you hear what you're listening to. Now, when it comes to the bass, now they're saying they're using this bass direct. They kind of pump up the fact that it's going to have a lot of low end. I think the bass on these does have a really nice punch to them, but it's fast. It's not that subwoofer type bass. It's not overly aggressive. And I think if you read the marketing or if you read their website, you might go in kind of expecting that. You might go in expecting like subwoofer type bass. And in my opinion, that's not what this is. This is bass that you can feel. It just hits you, but it just moves on really quickly. Again, it's not comparable to like that subwoofer bass that's gonna sit around a little bit, but the mids and the treble on these are accentuated very, very well. The mids, I feel like, is definitely pushed up maybe a notch or two forward. I never had any issue with like hearing male or female vocalists. You can actually hear a lot of detail in like acoustic instruments. So I think they did a really good job with the way that they tune the mids, and I also think they did a really good job with the treble. It's almost like this subtle brightness because it can definitely get pretty bright, but it never felt like overly harsh. It never felt, again, overly aggressive, which I feel like matches up pretty well with the way that they have the low end tuned on these. But outside of that, the soundstage and the sound imaging is already excellent on these by design. You have a very wide open space that you're listening to these in, and being able to tell where sounds were coming from was never an issue with this pair. So honestly, my overall opinion on the OpenRock X is it is a premium product. It is a flagship model from OpenRock, which already made some very impressive open ear style earbuds anyway. So you're going to get that premium price tag that comes along with it. Spending $169 is going to be up there with the Shocks range, which people are going to probably be a little bit more familiar with. But the OpenRock X, in my opinion, still feels like a more premium polished product overall. From the case itself being very well built, the earbuds having that adjustability, it just has a more polished feel to it. It's extremely comfortable. The battery life, again, is going to last you all day. The way that these are tuned, I think most people are going to be extremely happy with. It definitely has that Harman tuning where the bass is bumped up, the treble's bumped up, everything comes through very clear. It's just not over accentuated. It still feels like it's pretty well controlled, and you can listen to these at really high volume without other people around you being able to hear what you're listening to. And this is a fault with a lot of other open ear style earbuds. So I really like what they're doing here. I like what the company OpenRock is doing in general. I was very happy with the presentation that they had at their booth at CES. The marketing people there were all extremely nice, and I really have high hopes for this company. They're a company focused on something that is now set to shine, because open ear audio is definitely going to become the thing this year. But guys, that wraps up my video on the OpenRock X. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.